wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans. Professional wrestling. This is it. This is us standing up. This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
professional wrestling. This is it. This is us standing up.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's 13-14.
Cena, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, it's at H, the E to the A to the D, Anthony Walker at your service for another installment of the Wrestling Matters Podcast. How are we all? Hope you're all well. I'm recovering from a birthday. That's right, I'm now officially 31. And, yeah, I had a pretty good birthday, to be honest. Before I get to that and all the other stuff and everything, yeah, we're going to talk Raw, we're going to talk SmackDown, we're going to talk TNA, NXT, and we're going to talk Ring of Honor too. And did I mention Impact Wrestling as well? If I did on that, but you know the score by now. And we're going to take anything else that is relevant in the world of professional wrestling. Now, like I said, just turned 31 this past Wednesday. Yay! I am now officially 31 years old. And I had a good birthday, quiet birthday, did some work, just relaxed. Had to deal with my niece, which was challenging in its own right, but hey. And got some good stuff, new stuff as well. Got a new table. I have now a work desk, which is a joy, let me tell you. Got some new DVDs as well. I got a John Cena DVD. Yeah, I haven't watched that, but it looks pretty decent. Yes, I am a Cena fan for all you Cena marks out there, all you Cena haters. Okay, if you don't like it, go fuck yourselves. Okay, I don't care about what you people like or anything like what you haters like, okay? I actually respect John Cena, but that's another issue for another day. I got SummerSlam 96 and 97 in Taggart Classics. Them Taggart Classics that you get down the town in my local pub, which are £20 UK money a DVD, to be honest. If I remember correctly, I'm sure they were 20 quid in HMV and that. I don't know what they are in American money, but I don't know what 20 quid is in American money, but I'm sure you can work that out. And I got top 25 greatest rivalries, which I'll be reviewing on a live. I'm going to record a video and do some videos for the Wrestling Matters channel as well. I'm going to be doing that, despite the fact that I've seen it already on the WWE network, because I'm pretty sure that 25 greatest rivalries, pretty sure that's actually on the network as well. So if you don't want to get the DVD, go and check it out on the network. £10 a month, remember that. But that was what my mother got me, and got me in the way, because I did a deal with her. She rated it through Amazon. Other video sites and shop sites are available, and she wanted to get me some DVDs, and I was like okay with that. I was fine with that, and I said, she had a line of DVDs. I'm aiming to get every single WrestleMania in DVD in the near future as well, but it was so dear. And plus, I already spent $200 on a laptop. My parents already spent $200 on my birthday for a laptop, a brand new laptop, which is what I'm currently using right now, actually, to record this. But I said, throw in whatever you want to get me in the DVDs, get me, as long as you throw in the 3 DVDs that I've actually got as well, 3 of the main DVDs that were part of the deal. I said, you throw in them 3 DVDs, you can get me whatever you want after that, and I don't give a damn, okay? Because I'll watch it anyway. Just make sure you throw these 3 DVDs in, and that is The Rise and Fall of WCW, which again is on the network. If you haven't seen it, the documentary's on the network. I've got the DVD with matches, great matches, including, read a few out, Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair, Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, Steiner Brothers, Sting and Lex Luger, Rick Rude, Sting, I believe that was from Spring Stampede, if I remember correctly. Spring Stampede, I'm pretty sure it's 94 as well. Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan from Bash at the Beach, Hogan's very first match in WCW. Go figure. Hogan wins the WCW title in his first match. And War Games, which is Team WCW, Sting, Lex Luger, Ric Flair. That was the one where everybody thought Sting was on the NWO side, but wasn't. It was a fake Sting all along. And the match that got cut off halfway through, if you watched it on pay-per-view company cut it off, and it was Goldberg and DDP, and I'm pretty sure that was from Halloween Havoc 1998, where they had the match but they went into overtime, didn't it? The pay-per-view cut them off, so the only way they got to see that was on Nitro the following night, and actually it did a hell of a rate. So they did the pay-per-view the previous night, and they give the main event away for free on Nitro, and actually did a hell of a rating for the show. So which I find hilarious, by the way, and I still do to this very day. And the other two videos I got with that Rise and Fall DVD, which was the Best of Nitro Volume 1 and the Best of Nitro Volume 2. Those were the three that I got. And I'm currently watching them, currently checking out all three of them as we speak, as well on my other computer as well that I use for editing and producing and whatever, producing these great shows, these great podcasts for you, as well as my Games Matter stuff as well. And yeah, other than that, I got a good birthday, got some smelly stuff as well, some links after shave and shit. And yeah, all in all, pretty good, quiet birthday, which is, you know, despite the fact that it was on a Wednesday and it wasn't on a weekend, like a Friday night or anything like that, which is kind of what you want. I mean, alright, I would love to have went out on my birthday, but, you know, it wasn't a weekend, it's a Wednesday. So, all in all, pretty good nonetheless. Hopefully I get to go out next year, and if I get some money, fuck it, I'll book my own party, mate, if I get the opportunity. I don't care. Hope you enjoyed all the previous, like I said, the podcasts and everything. ICW podcast, the Progress Wrestling podcast. Apologies for the late delay on putting the Chapter 8 Progress Wrestling podcast on the Soundcloud. It was my birthday and all that, and I was enjoying my birthday. I actually forgot about it, so it's up now, but I didn't put that up. I was meant to put that up on Wednesday and I forgot, but I put it up on Thursday instead. Also, hope you've enjoyed the predictions for NXT and Nitro. And NXT and SummerSlam. Wow, got Nitro on my mind because I've just read the DVDs out. Sick. And the predictions, I'll be reviewing them two shows. I'll be reviewing SummerSlam this week for the Wrestling Matters channel and for Facebook as well. www.facebook.com/WM podcast. I put the two videos, the NXT predictions and the SummerSlam predictions on Facebook. I almost said Facebook there for the second time. You know, jeez. I'm losing the plot, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that I ever had it anyway, but anyway. And I want to talk a little bit about my Games Matter channel as well. I feel the need to talk about that. You know, I know this is a wrestling podcast, but I feel the need to bring up my Games Matter channel. Yes, WWE are doing their own games channel very, very soon as well. I'm doing mine as well. It's on Games Matter channel, youtube.com/Games Matter channel. Believe there's a lot of stuff that's going to come on there. I'm going to do some FIFA 16 stuff since FIFA 15's royally fucked up, and some old school GTA. I've got the GTA series on there as well, third person and in first person. Be sure to check all that out as well. I would love it if you guys check it out. If you're an avid gamer like myself, please do check that out. Also check out my Twitch channel. Knock on wood, I will be coming to Twitch, live streaming on Twitch in September, in the middle of September, all being well, and hopefully all being well that my business dealing that I'm going to be doing at the end of the month, getting them two channels, the YouTube channel, Games Matter channel, and the Wrestling Matters channel onto a proper YouTube network. I believe I'm not going to tell you what it all is yet, but it's YouTube. They're both YouTube partnered at the moment, but hopefully there's a YouTube network out there that I'm doing a business with and that I've agreed to join, but hopefully they'll be able to get me on their books and, you know, off to the races I go from there. So hopefully, all being well, it'll all come good for me in September. Until then, I'm just enjoying the rest of August. SummerSlam was yesterday. I hope you enjoyed SummerSlam. Hope you all enjoyed NXT as well. Like I said, look out for the reviews coming this week on the Games Matter channel, as well as the Facebook page of the Wrestling Matters podcast, facebook.com/WM podcast. Also follow on Twitter at WM podcast. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say in a way. And just something to kick off to warm us up for the show. I'll see if there's anything on No DQ worth talking about on NoDQ.com worth talking about, any news and gossip and whatnot. WWE are interested into indie stars. Let's have a butcher's at that. Let me give my opinion on that. I've got a bad butt, I don't care. WWE are reportedly interested in independent talents Rich Swann and Biff Busick. I hope I pronounced them names right. I know I pronounced the Rich right. I hope I pronounced the Biff name right. According to the Wrestling Observer. Now, Swann has competed in several promotions including Chikara and Dragon Gate USA, and is also a two-time full Impact Pro World Champion. Biff has also wrestled for Dragon Gate USA and is a former ZZW Combat Zone Wrestling World Champion. So them two are reportedly interested. Now that's going to work. Biff and have something in common with a certain member of the roster already, because I don't know if they signed him from CZW to the roster. He's competing in FCW. Wow, that went wrong, didn't it? FCW. I don't know if he's competing in. I don't know if he competed in ZZW when they signed him, but Dean Ambrose was a former ZZW World Champion as well, so that's something Miffin will have some in common with. No doubt these two, when they eventually get signed, if these rumours are true, no doubt they'll end up going to NXT and doing big things on there, I'm pretty much sure. But yeah, something to look out to, something to look forward to in the future, see if anything like that continues and it all goes through. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to end part 1 there. Come back for part 2, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to kick the show off with Monday Night Raw main talking points. Tombstone City Bitch and a pipe bomb from John Cena. Tune in after this. I'll be back. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Madness Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows.
Oh my God!
Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Madness Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and Soundcloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're going to know our name.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2 of the Wrestling Matters podcast, and without further ado, we'll get right into it. Let's talk about Raw. Now, this Sunday at SummerSlam being gone, of course, once the fanfare has erupted and host Jon Stewart has kicked off the proceedings, Cesaro will fight Kevin Owens and Sheamus will go face-to-face, toe-to-toe with Randy Orton. But that's Sunday. On Monday, with the biggest party of the summer approaching, the tensions thicken. The Viper and the Swiss Superman united to face their rivals and adversaries for SummerSlam in a tag match to kick off the show. For the majority of the contest, the two sets of opponents spent their time feeling each other out and getting in some last-minute scouting before Sunday, or before the SummerSlam pay-per-view. It ended in a 4-way fracas, with Cesaro pounding Sheamus to a throat until Orton tagged in to finish the job. A last-minute bum rush by Owens went nowhere when Cesaro ran interference, and an RKO to the Celtic Warrior put the match to rest. Now, for the other moments of the match, because I want to get into the two main talking points of Monday Night Raw. Warm up to the match for at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns defeated Luke Harper. Becky Lynch made Tamina tap out, and a girl Becky. Rusev defeated Mark Henry, but that also witnessed the return of one Dolph Ziggler, who came back looking for payback. Intercontinental Champion Ryback defeats Miz. Story of Miz's life. And now for the main talking point. 1. Champ is here. After 2 weeks, you can't see knee jokes. John Cena returned to Raw, nose intact, new shirt over his shoulders, and pen in hand to sign the contract for the winner-takes-all match against the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. And Cena came back not a moment too soon, storming the signing after Rollins labelled him a disease. A focused Cena declined a seat at the signing table, instead dictating his mission statement to Rollins and Triple H. He would take Rollins' title, tie Flair's record, and upend the legacy of both the Game and the Architect in the process. And also, he happened to say that Triple H was never Ric Flair's bitch, but at the SummerSlam pay-per-view, Seth Rollins would be Cena's. However, if you've seen SummerSlam, you know what happened. And I'll play the audio of that during the break, whether anyone likes it or not. Now, WWE Tag Team Champions, Proud Time Players defeat and Lucha Dragons defeat New Day and Los Matadores. NXT Women's Champion proves that she is superior to the Divas Champion Nikki Bella. Sasha Banks beating Nikki Bella, by the way. And main talking point part 2. Brock Lesnar came home on Raw and found an unwelcome house guest waiting for him when he did. What began as emotional as it gets with Brock Lesnar returned to the Beast Incarnate stomping ground, complete with streamers and confetti and a singing Paul Heyman, was cut short by The Undertaker's gong. The toning turned out to be a fake out, which squad Heyman into his public for one final alteration going into the pay-per-view SummerSlam. When the dead man's bell rang again, however, the last outlaw appeared in the flesh, low-blowing Lesnar again, just like a Battleground. He low-blowed him again and striking him down with a chokeslam and a tombstone before making his exit. Next up, Brooklyn. Now, unlike a Battleground, Undertaker dropped Lesnar with 2 tombstones at Battleground. I believe it was 2 or 3. Only one took that. Only one on there though. So we'll have to wait and see what happens this coming week. Well, you already know what happens on Raw, but you have to see what happens tonight on Raw, the fallout from SummerSlam. And don't forget, guys, check out the Wrestling Matters channel, youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters this week for the review of NXT and the SummerSlam show. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll be back right after this with part 3 and NXT main talking points. So stay tuned. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/WM podcast and like the page and show your support to the podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. The Wrestling Matters podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
What I'm going to do to you Sunday is going to haunt you for the rest of your life, and is going to haunt you for yours. I am a 15-time world heavyweight champion. And you see where I'm going with this. You see, I designed this stuff months ago because I figured there was no chance in hell I was ever getting close to that championship again until Captain Morgan over here opened his big, fat, stupid mouth. Payback for me is the easiest thing ever. I show up Sunday and I do what I do. I win. I win and I become the world heavyweight champion for the 16th time. And this Sunday, when you lose, you lose. Because the all-time championship record is held by your mentor, a man who passed his legacy to you, Ric Flair. This Sunday, I'm going to prove you wrong. You ain't the future, you're a footnote. You are an absolute answer to a trivia question. All you are ever going to be is who did John Cena beat to become the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion? It's starting to sink in, isn't it? It's starting to weigh on you. You see, Sunday's not just a match. Sunday, you fight to protect everything, the past, the present, and the future of this man's legacy. Bestowed to him by Ric Flair, he is trying to bestow it upon you. There is one major difference here. Triple H was never Ric Flair's bitch. This Sunday, I'm gonna make you mine.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. And as you clearly heard while the commercial break was on, you heard the audio of the pipe bomb from John Cena. And you wonder why I called it a pipe bomb. Now, we'll move on. It is now time for the NXT main talking points. And NXT kicked off this week with the match that's going to take place at what took place at TakeOver, involving... It was a contract signing involving Sasha Banks and her adversary Bayley. 1 week after defeating Becky Lynch to become the number 1 contender, Bayley came face to face with the NXT Women's Champion to sign the contract for their TakeOver match at the TakeOver in Brooklyn. With the NXT universe firmly behind her, Bayley said she wouldn't let this opportunity slip through her fingers, quickly declaring that she was ready to get the formalities out of the way and end the signing like most of them usually end, with a fight. After stamping her signature on the contract, however, Sasha Banks was ready to walk away. When Bayley challenged her, though, the boss said her challenger simply wasn't worth her time and that Bayley's fairy tale will end at TakeOver. Sasha's dismissal of her sent Bayley into a rage as she chased the NXT Women's Champion down and attacked her on the ramp. It took every NXT referee to restrain Bayley as Sasha Banks realized that she wouldn't be facing a pushover at the sold-out Barclays Center. Tyler Breeze took on a local competitor. It was just a warm-up match for the Brooklyn for the match with Juice and Thunder Liger. He won it with a beauty shot. Will the same fate happen to Juice and Liger? Well, you only know that, ladies and gentlemen. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy take on the Hype Brothers, and the Hype Brothers defeat local competitors, rather. It was an 8-man tag. Nothing much, just an 8-man tag, which the team of Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy and the Hype Brothers ended up winning. I'm not a big fan of Enzo Amore, and you can't teach that. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. I know I might get stick for that, but I do not like that tag team. I like Cassidy. Cassidy's a big motherfucker, and he's got potential, let me tell you. Heading into their NXT title defense at the sold-out Barclays Center, Blake and Murphy made quick work of Matt Masters, Angelo Dawkins, and Fulton. Sawyer Fulton. I hope I said that right. With Blake pinning Fulton after he and Murphy hit the patented suplex frog splash combination. Following the bout, Blake and Murphy's takeover opponents, the Vaudevillains, entered the arena to address the tag team champions. But before they uttered a word, Bliss stormed up the ramp and slapped Aiden English and Gotch in the face twice each. Will the Vaudevillains be able to neutralize this stupid diva? Samoa Joe or Steve Cutler? I think you can figure out who won that. Just days before the biggest main event in NXT's history, Kevin Owens set up a ladder in the center of the ring and sent one final message to the NXT champion Finn Balor. Owens said that their July 4th encounter was a fluke and that there wouldn't be an epic struggle between them at the top of the ladder because Balor would be destroyed on the mat. As Owens finished the monologue, the arena darkened as Finn Balor music played. When the light returned, the NXT champion was perched on the top turnbuckle. The two stared each other down before charging into battle. Balor pounced on his challenger, pummeling him with fists and hard Pele kick, but when the champion grabbed the ladder, Owens scurried out the ring. Balor climbed the ladder and declared that not only would he retain the title at TakeOver, but he would shut Owens up once and for all. And if you've seen TakeOver, you know what happened. And that is the end of the NXT main talking points. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back after this with part 4 of the Wrestling Matters podcast and the TNA main talking points. Excuse me. So stay tuned. I'll be back after this. Be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday for the Progress Wrestling Podcast. That's right, each and every week on Wednesdays, for the time being at least, I will be reviewing their shows from their on-demand service, Demand Progress. So be sure to check out the hottest promotion to come out of London. That's right, it's Progress Wrestling. This is Progress. This is a podcast on Progress. Every Wednesday on Soundcloud, YouTube, OSW TV, and every other podcasting site that matters. Be sure to check it out. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not follow the Wrestling Matters podcast now on Twitter at WM Podcast for all professional wrestling news. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 4 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. And without further ado, we won't waste any time. Let's talk TNA. Jeff and Karen Jarrett will enter the Impact Zone. Jeff vows to make more history by having the reigning King of the Mountain champion, Global Force Wrestling's PJ Black, challenge Ethan Carter for the World Heavyweight Championship. EC3 interrupts, declaring, "This is not GFW, this is TNA, the house the Carters built." Carter refused to defend his title until Karen Jarrett interrupts his tirade. She reminds him that Jeff founded GFW and before that TNA. She says Jeff maintains ownership stake in the TNA, and then she implicates EC3 as a man behind the attacks on Bully Ray and Drew Galloway. Carter claims there is no evidence to support Karen's claim. Again, he refuses the title defense. Jeff saying he either defends it or he be stripped from it. Simple. Defend it or be stripped. Simple as that. Now, the other match, first match was a open mic challenge which ended with Bram drops Anderson with the brighter side of suffering. He teases grabbing the mic before declaring to ram Anderson's face first into the ladder. Bam tosses nearly a dozen chairs into the ring and attempts to connect with a second brighter side of suffering. Anderson counters and whips Bram into the ladder. Anderson takes the ladder, but he's powerbombed onto the pile of chairs. Bram retrieves the microphone. Anderson counters a mic shot with a mic check onto the chairs. He repeatedly clubs Bram with the mic before screaming his name in his trademark way. Anderson takes one last shot, makes the cover, and gets the victory. His name is not Koya anymore. No. And he just becomes this joke now, and then Revolution thing just didn't like it. And obviously, James Storm didn't take too kindly to it by kicking him. More on that later, I would imagine. Now, handicap 6 sides of steel Dollhouse against Gail Kim, and Gail Kim gets the victory on that. I want to know what direction the Dollhouse is going, to be honest. Now, no disqualification match, Eli Drake against Drew Galloway, which ended with Eli Drake mounts a chair in the turnbuckle, but he winds up on the receiving end of the punishment. Galloway sends him face first into the chair before introducing a table into the match. Drake baseball slides into Galloway, and then he pulls a crotch from beneath the ring. Galloway dodges the first swing, but not the second swing after a low blow. Drake drapes Galloway across the table and heads up to the top. Galloway counters, driving Drake through the table with, I believe, was White Noise, a move from Sheamus, and Drew Galloway gets the victory by pinfall. Now, something ridiculous. Chris Melendez accepts a match with EY, and if EY beats him, EY gets to take home his prostate leg. I'm not even going anywhere near that. Tyrus uses his size advantage to overpower Matt Hardy. Tyrus delivers a slam that follows up with a splash from the middle rope. Hardy dodges a corner splash and connects with a 2 twist of fate to secure the victory. Post-match, EC3 attacks Matt Hardy using the World Heavyweight title. He storms into the ring and screams, "Jeff Jarrett, send me your very, very best, and I shall sacrifice them on my altar of perfection." And the very, very best led to the main event, which led to EC3 one-on-one with PJ Black. And for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure you do, PJ Black is Justin Gabriel from WWE. Now, I'm not going to go through the match big, but I will say this. PJ Black kicks out just before 3 and then battles back with a springboard moonsault off the top rope. EC3 is out of a pin attempt. Black attempts a second springboard moonsault, but Carter rolls through with a schoolboy that he turns into a sit-out powerbomb. Black counters the 1%er with a powerbomb of his own. And then there's the child crying, "Let's go PJ, let's go Carter." Black and Carter trade blows. Black gets the better of the exchange. Black connects with an impressive springboard forward 50. Carter kicks out before 3. PJ Black drags Carter closer to the turnbuckle and is poised for a final 450 until Carter drags him off, hits the 1% and retains the title. And then Jeff Jarrett asks Dixie Carter to let him run Impact on a weekly basis. Dixie Carter requests 1 week to have the final answer. What will it be? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is the end of TNA's main talking points. Hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, I'll be back after this with Ring of Honor, so stay tuned. Be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday for the Progress Wrestling Podcast. That's right, each and every week on Wednesdays, for the time being at least, I will be reviewing their shows from their on-demand service, Demand Progress. So be sure to check out the hottest promotion to come out of London. That's right, it's Progress Wrestling. This is Progress. This is a podcast on Progress. Every Wednesday on SoundCloud, YouTube, OSW TV, and every other podcasting site that matters. Be sure to check it out. Wrestling matters, wrestling fans. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows.
Oh my God!
Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and Soundcloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Part 5. Part 5 of the Wrestling Matters Pod. Hope you're all enjoying the show. And now it's time for the Ring of Honor review. Ring of Honor kicked off this week with Dalton Castle and Silas Young. Now, these two have been feuding for a while, and they had this match on Ring of Honor television, and it was pretty good. Pretty good physical wrestling match to kick off Ring of Honor television. Hard hitting, fast start by Castle. Castle just didn't wait. He just went after it, and because previously Young beat up Castle's boys, the fan dudes. As Castle was, he beat him up quite a bit, and obviously Castle wanted payback. It was a hard-hitting match, great match all around, start to finish. Good physical wrestling match, as you would probably expect in Ring of Honor. One thing I got in this match was Castle could throw a suplex, and boy can he ever. So could Silas Young as well. Like I said, hard-hitting wrestling at its best to kick off Ring of Honor. One of my favourite moments of the match is when Mr. Castle does that outside, where he uses the bottom rope in the apron, he swings around like if he's doing a 619, and then gets him in the Hurricane Rana and takes him down outside, which is a phenomenal move. And Castle ended up winning with the Alabama Facebuster, but Young challenged him to another match after it, which is where he challenges him, and if Young wins, he gets his boys and tries to make them into real men, as he put it. I don't know about that, but I don't know if he's accepted that yet, but that's what happened. All in all, a good, solid, hard-hitting wrestling match to kick off the show. One very unique style against a real man, as he claims to be himself. And yeah, good solid way to kick off, and I will give that match a 3 out of 5. The next match was Will Ferrara, little Will Ferrara, against Moose. Now, Moose looking to bounce back. Don't get me wrong, Will Ferrara hit a DDT on the floor. He went for a dive and then DDT'd Moose on the floor, spiking him on the floor. And he did get his moves in and his offense in, rocking the big man, but Moose is a beast. He's just too powerful, he's just too agile, he's just too strong. And when he hits you with that spear, you're done. This match gets a 2.5 out of 5 for me, really, because it was just a dominant win at the end of the day with Moose. It was just a dominant win for him. Like I say, if he hits you with that spear, it's lights out. And he got a dominant win against Will, man. I mean, Will did his best. Will tried his best. Tried to quicker the pace at times, but it didn't work. Like I said, Moose is just too strong, and Moose is a beast. And he gets a dominant win, which is probably you would expect someone the size of him. And yeah, that leads to the main event, which is RPG Vice, Roppongi Vice, I believe their name is, and the Young Bucks. Two good tag teams, know each other so well. Great tag team main event. Like I said, both teams know each other so well. Great tag team match start to finish. Young Bucks proving why, in my opinion, they are one, if not the best tag teams in not just Ring of Honor, but dare I say the world, and proving they are too sweet. Great double team wrestling, great tag team wrestling by both teams in this match. A good solid way to end Ring of Honor, I felt. A couple of points out, favourite points in the match. Tornado DDT on the floor by the Young Bucks. By, I believe it was Nick Jackson. He managed to get a Tornado DDT from the apron, I believe it was. It spiked him. A swanton on the outside, which is a swanton dive from the top rope on the outside, which was awesome. And yes, the super kicks were out. That's right, the super kick party was out. And nothing you would probably expect from the masters of the super kick. And I can tell you this right now, boy, can they hit a super kick, the Young Bucks. And it was just a lot of combos in this match as well, tag team combinations, like not just great double team wrestling, not just, great solid tag team wrestling from both teams. A lot of good double team combos in this match as well. Just fun to watch, fun to see. And yeah, the Young Bucks end up winning the match with more bang for your buck, finishing move, and they get the victory. But after the match, the Addiction came out, attacked the Young Bucks, along with Sabin, and sent a message and showed the Young Bucks their own super kick party. I've got a funny feeling it is going to be KRD. And this is me calling it right now. I say KRD because that's what they were built into with Chris Sabin, the Addiction. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Addiction and Sabin against the Bullet Club very, very soon. And I say Bullet Club, I'm talking about the Young Bucks and AJ Styles. Because AJ Styles is going to want a piece of this. I might be wrong. It might not be AJ Styles, but I've got a funny feeling it may very well be. So, all in all, good solid Ring of Honor hour. And yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. For me, very good Ring of Honor show and great tag team main event. And that's it for part 5 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Stay tuned because after this I'll be back with part 6 of the Wrestling Matters podcast, and it'll be the SmackDown main points. Changed up the format a little bit on this show, haven't I? But after this quick timeout, I will bring you the SmackDown main talking points, so stay tuned. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/WM podcast and like the page and show your support to the podcast that stands up for professional wrestling, the Wrestling Matters podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not follow the Wrestling Matters podcast now on Twitter at WM Podcast for all professional wrestling news. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland, where I'll be reviewing their shows. Oh my God! Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and Soundcloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 6 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. It is mates at HEAD at your service still. Now we're going to go to the SmackDown main talking points. Now, I'll kick it off. This Sunday, August 23rd, the Intercontinental Championship will be decided in a triple threat match at SummerSlam. But first, reigning title holder Ryback went to war against Big Show one-on-one on SmackDown, which is what should be happening at SummerSlam in my opinion. But anyway, before anything could be settled between them, however, the big guy blasted the world's largest athlete through the barricade, leaving both mighty superstars unable to continue contest. Basically, it was thrown out. So, New Day defeats Los Matadores and El Torito, and after the match, I believe, El Torito got destroyed by Biggie Langston, because there was a clip, well, I've seen it. He basically, Langston squashes him for some reason. The show-off returned to SmackDown en route to his SummerSlam showdown with Rusev, reuniting with Lana. The happy couple addressed the WWE Universe in the ring, find out what happened when the Bulgarian Brute and Summer Rae decided to crush the party. You can see that now. Find that on on the WWE YouTube page as well. And it was just basically saying that Dolph Ziggler is going to steal the show, kick Rusev's teeth down his throat, steal the show, and steal his girlfriend, the real one, not the fake one. So, like I said, guys, only you know what has happened if you've seen SummerSlam. Neville beats Bo Dallas. I'm not going to go into any big details about that, but anyone who beats Bo Dallas is A-okay with me. Brie Bella somehow defeats Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch in a triple threat match. Before the Divas 3-team elimination match at SummerSlam, the NXT champion, or now former NXT champion, Sasha Banks made Divas champion Nikki Bella tap out on Raw. In the wake of the Boss' big win, the Divas Revolution rolled into SmackDown. After members of Team Bella, Team Bad, and PCB engaged in a war of words, Brie Bella, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch went to battle in the triple threat match. In height of the action that followed, Brie used Last Kicker as the human battering ram, knocking the Boss off the apron before rolling Becky up for the 3 count. Like I say, guys, all you guys know what happened at SummerSlam, if you've seen it, that is. And now for the epic main events of SmackDown. With major SummerSlam momentum hanging in the balance, Randy Orton, Cesaro, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose engaged Sheamus, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper in a huge 8-man tag. In the midst of all-out mass hysteria in which one superstar after another was taken down in a sea of earth-shattering finishing maneuvers, the Lunatic Fringe finally hit Harper with dirty deeds to get the win. Who will emerge victorious at the SummerSlam pay-per-view? Like I said, guys, only you guys know who won, that's if you've seen the pay-per-view. And tune in this week on the Wrestling Matters channel, as well as the Wrestling Matters Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Matters. Well, I will be having a review of the NXT show and the SummerSlam show itself. So tune in this coming. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I'll be back after this with the the outro, so to speak, to the Wrestling Matters podcast, because it's the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast. So stay tuned. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows.
Oh my God!
Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and Soundcloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast itself. Just one quick thing before I go. Apparently this past week at the NXT TakeOver show, during Finn Balor's entrance, fans tossed out of the NXT show because during Finn Balor's ring out announcement at the NXT event this past week. A group of fans threw streamers that landed in the ringside area in front of the announcers. Security quickly escorted the fans out, which led to a huge "let them stay" chant. Moments later, the fans were escorted by the same security guards back to their seats. A massive welcome back chant erupted. Now, you see, what you've got to realize is this: it's sometimes either WWE employees are stupid, either security was stupid, or both, really. Because it seems that people obviously them security people don't watch the the Japan shows. But like I say, it's a combination of both. It could be WWE stupidity, it could be Japan. It could be the security guard stupidity, because obviously they've never watched wrestling. Because if they'd watched wrestling, they would have allowed that, and that wouldn't have happened, because the fact that they probably watched the Japan show. But in any event, they need to be more careful, because that happens in Japan. So, and Ring of Honor do it a lot, so why can't they do it? But anyway, that is the end of the Wrestling Matters podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before the break, be sure to check out the Wrestling Matters channel this week. You will see my review on NXT and my review on SummerSlam. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I can guarantee you I will be doing them this week. I'm doing them both like last time, and you'll be able to see it on the Facebook page of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Big thank you to the support that the two videos got, the predictions got last week as well. Reached about 2,000 people on Facebook, so I'm greatly appreciated on that. Little low on the views, but I will allow that. But like I said, they can only way is up at the moment, and like I said, it's only the first two videos on the Facebook page. There'll be a lot more to come, believe you me. I'll just have to be careful due to copyright stuff and everything like that, because I don't know what works yet. So if you see the YouTube version and it's entirely different to the Facebook version, you'll know why. But be sure to check them out. Like I say, youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters, facebook.com/WM Podcast. Also check out the Twitter page at WM Podcast on Twitter. I'll be having a few guests. I'll be hopefully having a few guests on in a couple of weeks' time. I'm trying to get some more guests back on, but at the moment right now, I'm just happy the way things are at the moment. I'm not being messed about. You know, I'm trying to get interviews. I'm trying to do the best I can, but I'm happy with the way I am just talking to you guys, because I know you guys ain't gonna mess me about like most other people are. Not to mention any names, but I don't waste time with people. I bring here on the Wrestling Matters podcast the best in professional wrestling as best as I can bring it, whether it's here on this podcast, there's the ICW podcast, or the Progress Wrestling podcast. I do it for you people, for your listening pleasure. Okay, because at the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans, and it's damn good to be a wrestling fan. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, let me know. You know where to find me, at WM Podcast, facebook.com/WM Podcast, AJW Wrestling Matters on YouTube. And until next time, guys, my name is Anthony Walker. Peace out.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Professional wrestling, this is it. This is us standing up.
Yes, 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 yes!
That's 13-14. Make it till death.
Cena, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold Simpson.